Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a quick lesson through the spirit. Give me 1 second, brothers. Salah. Bro, they got some good food on this truck, bro.
Huh?
They got some good food on this truck.
I don't know, man. I'm just translating.
Oh shit! Oh yeah, man, y'all work here. I don't think y'all buying shit, man. Okay, all right, bro. Yeah. Salakia. Anyway, let me start over from the beginning. Salakia, man. I got deviated some co-workers and shit. But I want to say shalom, shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, wherever they may be. This is a lesson through the spirit. Lord's will to be edified. Going into this whole Congress ordeal with them basically approving the bill to define anti-S. Okay, I say it that way because we know that these small hats, okay, Amalek, we understand that they have a narrative that they want to push to the mainstream media and to the people of the world, that they're just these just so righteous and overly righteous people that deserves every break and that can never do no wrong. So they went before the House and basically to approve on what's considered plausible to speak out against the small hats and what's considered unacceptable, and pretty much they won on a 320 to 91, meaning majority of the House voted that the small hats basically can't be exposed and that they shouldn't be spoke about in a negative light, which this is nothing more but a chess move to try to stop the men in the Lord from teaching the Bible, and for Esau Edom to literally pull the wool back over people's eyes. Because see, one thing about it, the whole world is waking up to the fact that the small hats, they're not the people of the Bible. Okay, the world is waking up to that fact, and they want to control that narrative because they're losing control of the narrative because of the wickedness that they've put about, the wickedness that they've spread it throughout the earth. Okay, so basically this is an attack on your first so-called amendment rights, which technically if you were Jake, you were Israelite, you never had rights anyway, but for political or PC sake, let's say that, you know, our rights, okay? Because if you a Negro, you ain't got no goddamn rights here, all right? You're guilty until proven innocent, all right? And that's for Jake, the real Israelites. And you got to understand this too, that which proves that they're not in fact the people of the Bible is because the scriptures clearly tells us in a latter time that the children of Israel will be subject to payments and they will be in subjection to their enemies, okay? Which is Esau, Edom, and the other nations. And when you look at us, we fit the bill, okay? No matter what legislation or what type of bottle they try to spin and try to deviate from that fact, everybody knows that we are the Israelites, okay? Talent-wise, prophetic-wise, first and foremost, okay? Look-wise, and we fit the bill of who the true Israelites of the Bible is. I mean, just look at what Jake go through as a people, okay? And the fact that the small hats are being exposed for being war criminals and crooks and madmen and mad women, mad children. Everybody is like, you know what, man, we got to do something about these people. So they go before Congress to get this bill approved. And I don't think it's law yet, but since the House approved of it, sooner than later, we won't be able to speak out against these small hats, man. Okay? That's why I went into earlier that those protests at those college campus, that's all staged so they can push the narrative about Slakia, man. But so they can push the narrative of creating this bill. Because I don't know if it was Eustace Mullins that said it, but I remember somebody said it. They said, if you want to know who's in power, If you want to know who's in power or who's in control of the world, ask who you can or you can't speak about. He said that in a roundabout way. I know I'm not quoting verbatim, but he says the people who you know that's in power is the ones that you get penalized for speaking about. Okay, now I don't think that was Eustace Mullins, but I do know that a lot of these men, you know, Eustace Mullins, a lot of these people, J. Anthony, a lot of these men have exposed the elites, you know, through books, you know, 1984, Behold a Pale Horus, you got the what is it called, the New World Order, you got all these different conspiratorial books that pretty much put a light on the wickedness that Amalek has been doing. Okay, so that's how we know that they're not the people of the Bible, because for one thing, they're not oppressed. Okay, now they're speaking this whole shebang like they're oppressed, and they're coming up with these different laws and revisions to protect themselves, but that ain't biblical prophecy, man. Okay, scriptures say that we ain't gonna know who we was until the Messiah came back, but yet these people always had some type of knowledge about who they were, which clearly proves that they're not Israelites. So kind of going through this bill real quick, it says House approves bill to define anti-Semitism 320 to 91, meaning they got 320 votes to 91, which basically they won that. Okay, so everybody and their mother, including Congress and, you know, the Democratic and the Republican Party, acknowledges that, okay, nobody should be speaking out against the small hats. And, you know, it's so crazy because if you would think that a so-called right-wing, more conservative power will understand the tyranny of the so-called white man, you would ask yourself, like, wait a minute, why wouldn't they vote against it? But clearly they voted for it because they're all part of the same bird. All right. It says here, protecting Israel from criticism is more important than free speech. So basically, your First Amendment rights is null and void. Okay. So they'd rather protect a bunch of criminals, okay, and a bunch of demons before you have your so-called rights. So if you say, well, look, man, the you know what don't fix y'all X, Y, and Z, they would literally, they would literally take your page down, or they will ostracize you, man. And in some cases, they'll lock your ass up, all because you said something against the small hats, which is total bullshit. But that's prophecy, because we're getting ready to be persecuted for the words which we speak. Okay, so this is the Lord showing us right here, like, look, man, we're coming into them times that when all hell break loose, hey, they're gonna try to persecute us, man. But it says the following examples of anti-S, it says, reads here, would apply in it says it would apply in the public life, the media, the schools, the workplace, in the religious sphere, which we follow part of the religious sphere. Okay, because, you know, we're preaching the Bible out down the highways and the byways, and, you know, from time to time we encounter a lot of Amalekites. Okay, and, you know, it's to the point that we don't even acknowledge them. We don't even go back and forth with them. You know, like the Apostle Tara said, he said, well, look, man, if you gotta deal with those people, just, you know, be cordial with them and tell them the truth. You ain't got to curse them out and say F you, F, nah, forget all that. Because it's to the point that they're getting ready to stop us from speaking his word. Because basically our message is to debunk everything they've been told. Okay, according to Corinthians, breaking down the strongholds, the lies. We're breaking all that shit down through the spirit of power, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And the small head is the progenitor of the lies. Okay, it says, could take an account into overall context, including but are not limited to calling for aid, justifying and killing or harming small hats. Okay, I'm not going to call them this because this is not what they are. In the name of radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. And when you think of extremism, they always try to label the black Hebrew Israelites. And that's a quote. Okay, the Hebrew Israelites are the face of extremism. And like we said, they're going to do whatever they can to try to tie this bill into us, because out of everybody on the planet, we're the ones that speak directly against the lies they've been told, because we're the prophets. And they know that. So this is a way for them to stop us from speaking, and that they can lock us up. Okay. But it says making mendacious, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about JEWS, such as the power of the JEWS, a collective about such, especially not excluding myth, world, conspiracy of controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. But yet all these men do control them. Okay, when you look at the Federal Reserve, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, he's an Amalekite. Okay, the head of the American Medical Association, he's an Amalekite. You got an exceptional amount of them that work in Congress, that work in government. Okay, the head of the health departments, public health, they're all Amalekites, man. So how the fuck are we getting penalized for something that's in fact true? So basically they said, well, look, stop exposing us or we're going to arrest you. You know, like we told you, the whole protest ordeal was nothing but get this bill passed. How the fuck are they the damn victims when in fact they're the one that incited the whole riots? They incited the war. But yet, all of a sudden, they got a bill protecting them. But what about them, the Palestinians? Why can't they get a bill protecting them? Okay? And then you want to label people anti-S. What about the Negroes, man? Are we not considered Shemitic peoples? But according to them, their narrative, nah, we're not. Okay? We can't fit the bill because we're Africans, according to them clowns, man. Which is all fucking bullshit. And this is why Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to destroy these devils, man. And deservingly so. Okay? And I can't wait till the cat is out the bag. And really, the cat is already out the bag, man. But the whole world gonna realize sooner than later that you ain't nothing but a bunch of goddamn devils. And this is why you crying. All right? They saying that we run the world. You do run the world because you're the protected race. Only a protected person is in control of shit. We don't run the world. And if you are the people of the Bible, you don't fit the prophecy. All right? But it says conspiracy, controlling the media, economy, government, and other societal institutions, blase, accusing small hats as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing. So basically, these motherfuckers get a free pass, okay? They get a free pass. No matter what they do, no matter if they plotted the most prolific attacks in the world. And one thing I'm thinking about is the Nueve Uno? The 9/11. If they wasn't behind that shit, then who was it? But you can't bring that up no more because they got bills protecting this bullshit, man. You devils are fucking trash. You know, at the end of the day, it don't matter, man. You could pass as many bills as you want. At the end of the day, you still going down. Okay? Whether you try to stop us from speaking out against your tyranny, you still going down, bro. Okay? You're through. All right? And it ain't no way in hell that Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to let this bullshit continue to reign. You getting ready to lose your kingdom. All right? Now, I'm parked so I can actually focus on what I'm reading. Salaki about that. But it says, real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single you-know-who person or group, or even as acts committed by non-JW. It says, denying the fact, scope, mechanisms, gas chambers, or intentionality of the genocide of the you-know-who at the hands of National Socialist Germany and supporters that occupied or accomplices during World War II, accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the you know what. And it proves that they know what we talk about because these are all points that we've debunked. Okay? Since when 80 million people lost their lives in World War II, but only 6 fucking million is only accounted for. Come on, man. It says denying the people the right to self-determination by claiming that the existence of the state of Israel is a racist endeavor, which it is. You funded our slave trade. Applying double standards by requiring it of a behavior not expected or demand of any other democratic nation. Isn't that a hypocrisy? The double standard is on you. It says use symbols or images associated with classic anti-you-know-who claims of you-know-who killing Jesus or blood libel to characterize Israel or Israelis. Drawing comparisons to contemporary policies to that of the NAZIS, holding you-know-who collectively responsible for actions of the state of Israel. And it says an anti-S acts are criminal when they are so defined by law. For example, define or denial of the you-know-who of the distribution of anti-materials in some countries. Wow. So yeah, brothers, it's safe to say that we won't be out on the streets too much longer. Okay. So anyway, this is the book of Psalm 64. And I'm going to start it too. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Everybody know that Esau Edom is the devil that the Bible talks about, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bow. It says, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Okay. And this is part of the bitter words. Okay. This is all based on lies and propagation. Okay. This is what they do best. You know, they like to create the scenario and then they scream victim. Everybody sees that. This is why they paid these agitators to go among these institutions, predominantly UCLA, University of Chicago, and I believe it was the University in New York, if I'm not mistaken. It was a school in New York or a college institute in New York. But basically, you have riots breaking out in New York and also in UCLA when they claimed that the small hats went up and they attacked those them Stinians, and I say it that way. you know. So clearly these people are at fault for that, but yet they create scenarios like that to be justified on pushing this bullshit ass law, you know. And it says, who wet their tongue like a sword. This nigga got a whole fucking AR in his hand. Wow. It says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. And this is what they're doing. They did all this from behind doors. They say, well, look, we're going to come up with this so we can make that this people, so they can stop talking about us, man. And this is just opening up the door for persecution. Eventually, when they roll on us and they lock some of us up and bring us before the trial, and they're going to have to give an account of what was that you were saying about how these people in Israel were not the people. How can you say something like that? Well, the Bible says this, that, this, and that. The Bible doesn't fit these people. That's why the scriptures tells us that our enemies should not be able to gainsay nor resist, because those people deep down inside know they're not the people of the Lord. Because if they were the people of the Most High, it wouldn't be any wars over there right now, especially when you will put back in the land. The scriptures tells us in Jeremiah, I believe it's Isaiah or Jeremiah, that, matter of fact, I think it's Isaiah 2. But when the people of the Most High return back to the land, there will be peace on earth. And you people, since you've gotten the land, there's been nothing but fucking forever wars, man. Okay, and you do control the media. You do all that. And you're being exposed, man. But it says that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly they do shoot at him and fear not. It says they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privately, and they say who will see them. Because the people in back of their mind, yeah, they know that the small hats are responsible for world annihilation and world wickedness. But the true men of the Lord and the true Israelites are being hid through the lies of the devil, man. And the whole world is not really not hip to that fact. Though a lot of people know that we're the Lord's people, but they haven't really come to realization that this is really the case, man. You know, they look at it like, well, wait a minute, man. I mean, if you people are the people of the Lord, okay, but you in ghettos and all this other shit. And it's because people don't really understand the scriptures. But it says they search out iniquity and they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them, and the heart is deep. But Yahweh should shoot at them with an arrow, which is this truth, and they should suddenly be wounded. And this is why they're coming out with these laws and, you know, passing these particular bills through the house, because they want to stop the word of the Heavenly Father, but they can't. So they're wounded right now. But so they should make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them should flee away. And this is why you have, what do you call, whistleblowers, you know, like Redacted and all these other particular channels. They coming out and they're speaking against the small hats, even though people like Alex Jones and, you know what I'm saying, Redacted, they don't directly say the JESS or the small hats, but they do say the globalists. That's the key word of saying the small hats, because they're being funded by the small hats. Redacted is funded by the small hats, and they need controlled opposition in order to get people to feel the type of way. So therefore they can create a narrative to do away with the so-called offense. All right. Isaiah 29:21, that make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside a just thing for a thing of naught. Okay. They make us an offender for exposing them. You see, because, hey, the spirit is on us to expose them. That's why the scriptures say how the hidden things of Esau have been sought out. How has his hidden things been searched? You know, matter of fact, casting down imaginations. Matter of fact, yep, we are in 2 Corinthians 10. And I'm going to start verses at 3, because we're not bringing a carnal message. We're just telling you the truth through the scriptures. It says, for though we walk in the flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh to the pulling them down of the strongholds. And the strongholds are these lies, the manipulations, man. Everything that they said in this bill is to protect them is what they're guilty of. Okay. It says, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of the Hamashiach. Okay. So this is why we've been set up to preach good tidings. Okay. But like I said, Esau Edom, man, he's a demon, and he's been exposed. And I'll bring out this preach. Lord's will, I'll go back into this later on, get a little bit more thorough. I'm just kind of like running around and working and doing other things. So I had to do this on the fly. So Salakia for the distractions and my seemingly lack of focus. But, you know, I just wanted to put this out here. But this is the book of Proverbs 12. And I'm going to start at verses 26. It says, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them, okay? And the wicked is seducing because, like I said, they're going to coerce people into believing this anti-S bill, which in fact is based on a lot of lies and false flags, man. Okay? They ain't nothing but fucking, what do you call it? Nationalists or socialists? Or not socialists, but nationalists. They are opportunists, man. And they've hijacked governments through bribery, murder, okay? Money, bribery, you know? And this is why Yahweh Shem Yahushua is exposing their ass. Revelation 3, and I'm going to start at 9. It says, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I will make them to come and worship before thy feet and to know that I have loved thee. Okay? And we used to use that scripture to cut the small hats, though that's talking about Israelites, but you can apply it to Esau too because he's not the J-O-O. All right? Revelation 2 and 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but of the synagogue of Satan, man. Okay? But it says, fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So some of us are going to have to lose our lives for this truth, man. So yeah, brothers, man, hey, we ain't going to be out there too much longer because if, in fact, this become law, then, hey, we really can't speak out against them. You know, there will be problems, but, you know, the Lord got us. So at the end of the day, I'm going to end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Lord's will you edify into the next lesson. Shalom.